Imagine living in a fortress deep underground, sealed away in total darkness, where every wall, every tunnel, every chamber is built with purpose. A world of workers, soldiers, and a queen who keeps the entire civilization alive. Now imagine that fortress is under attack. Millions of invaders are closing in. Ants, organized, ruthless, hungry, ready to tear apart everything your colony has built. This isn't a small battle. This is a siege, violent, relentless, and happening right beneath your feet. Today, we're diving into one of the most intense battles in the animal kingdom. Ants invading a termite fortress, and the termite soldiers who defend it with their lives. Let's begin with something most people don't realize. Termites and ants are mortal enemies. They share the same environment. They compete for the same resources. And for millions of years, they've been locked in a brutal evolutionary war. Ants are the attackers. Termites are the defenders. And both sides are shockingly advanced. A termite colony isn't just a nest. It's a fortress. Deep chambers, thick walls, narrow choke point tunnels designed to slow invaders, and workers who constantly repair damage from the inside. While ants build highways, termites build bunkers. But when ants invade, none of that feels safe. Here's how the siege begins. A few scout ants wander across the forest floor. They smell something sweet, termites, hidden below. The scouts slip into tiny cracks in the soil, mapping out the tunnels. They don't attack. Their job is to return home with one message: attack here. And then it begins. Thousands of ants swarm the entrance. They tear at the soil. They bite through the walls. They break into the outer chambers like soldiers breaking through a castle gate. But termites are not helpless. Because termites have something ants fear: soldier castes. These soldiers aren't like the workers. They don't build. They don't forage. They don't raise the young. They exist for one purpose: to die for the colony. Some soldier termites have giant armored heads, shaped like shields. They block tunnels with their bodies, creating living barricades. Ants try to claw past them, but the soldier holds firm, using its head as a plug to stop the invasion. Other soldiers have enormous jaws, saber-like mandibles strong enough to slice attacking ants in half. But the most dangerous soldiers are the chemical sprayers. These termites don't bite, they don't block, they explode. Literally. Some species of termites have soldiers with massive glands full of sticky, toxic fluid. When surrounded by ants, these termites rupture themselves, spraying their attackers with glue-like chemicals that trap, poison, and immobilize them. It's suicide. Voluntary. Instant. And it saves the colony. Imagine that level of commitment. Ants attack with numbers. Termites defend with sacrifice. And during a siege, the colony becomes chaos. Workers scramble to seal tunnels. Soldiers rush toward the breaking points. The queen is moved deeper underground. Tunnels collapse from the force of thousands of tiny bodies locked in combat. This isn't random fighting, it's strategy. Termites design their tunnels for defense. Narrow hallways force ants to fight single file. Soldiers place themselves at choke points, turning the tight spaces into killing zones. Workers behind them reinforce walls, close gaps, and reroute tunnels to slow the ant advance. Sometimes the ants break through, sometimes they don't. In one famous observation, an ant colony tried for hours to invade a termite fortress. The termites fought back with soldier after soldier. Sticky toxins coated the tunnel floors. Ant bodies piled up until they blocked the passage. Eventually, the ants retreated, not because the termites were stronger, but because the soldiers created a barricade of bodies so dense that the ants physically couldn't pass. But sometimes, ants win. If ants reach the central chamber, the queen is doomed. And without her, the colony collapses. Termites know this. That's why the queen is always hidden in the deepest, most protected chamber. She's the heart of the civilization. If she falls, the fortress goes silent. But here's what makes termite sieges fascinating. These battles can last hours, days, even weeks. Fighting stops only when one side retreats, or one side is annihilated. And yet the moment the battle ends, the workers repair everything. They patch tunnels, build new walls, seal cracks, remove bodies. Within days, the fortress looks untouched, like nothing ever happened. Termites rebuild, ants regroup, and eventually, the war starts again. This is nature's version of ancient warfare: defense, invasion, sacrifice, strategy, rebuilding. Two civilizations evolving against each other, each shaping the other's strength. Ants adapt, termites adapt, and the war never ends. But maybe the most incredible thing about termite defense is this: they fight not as individuals, but as a unified, selfless colony. Every worker, every soldier, every sacrifice is for the survival of something bigger than themselves. In our world, we think of armies. In theirs, the entire colony is the army. The termite fortress may be hidden underground, but its strength is unmistakable. It's a reminder that even tiny creatures can build massive civilizations, that protection requires sacrifice, that survival demands coordination, and that war doesn't only belong to humans. Right now, below the surface, a siege is happening somewhere. Ants digging, termites defending, soldiers preparing for a fight they may not survive, a civilization fighting for its life, a fortress under attack, a war as old as time. The Termite Siege never really ends. It simply pauses and waits for the next invasion. Use any voice with a Midwestern accent for the narrator.